Hey guys, what's up? So today I'm here to discuss how knowing your emotions, your true emotions, both positively and negatively, can help you become a better person and increase all good aspects of your life. So, and I actually took notes this time. I have it kind of a bit more organized because as I continue to do this, I want my videos to get better for you guys so you can understand me better and I can deliver what I'm trying to get across. So, I took a little bit of notes here and there, but I'm still gonna go off the top of my mind because I feel like I speak better when I don't have everything scripted. But the first positive aspect of knowing your true emotions. But first, what does emotion mean? The word emotion definition means a natural instinct state of mind. A natural instinct state of mind. Now, if you get past all the labels, and I'm asking you this, please, when you listen to me speak, just try to let go of labels, if that makes sense. So, natural instinct, your emotion, your heart chakra, it's where, that's where you react. Depending on how you feel in a situation, it's your natural instinct whether you're going to fight or flight. That's right here. Now, with knowing this emotion, it helps you identify whether or not you're comfortable with the situation, whether you are down for doing it or not. It's the first thought, it's your body's first reaction without you having to think about it. And because everyone's different, everyone reacts different. So, with that in mind, and with a little, I'm gonna keep it I'm gonna keep it grounded a little bit. So I looked up some definitions and a Latin word for emotion, or another synonym, I believe, modus. It came with sensus, and by its definition, it's the Holy Spirit, a gift for receiving and applying God's self-revelation. Now, I can admit, I haven't read the Bible. Actually, I honestly haven't read the Bible all, except for the scriptures and parts that I have heard when I used to go to church. So, but what I like to do though, is with definitions, I like to sit on it, which is why I kind of didn't make this video yesterday, so I can make it into my own words. And from that, I take the Holy Spirit's gift for receiving and applying God's self-revelation. The Holy Spirit, self. Because the root word for spirit is self or being. So, yourself, the Holy Spirit's self gift for receiving and applying God's self-revelation. If you want to get religion in this, just so I can get you to understand my mindset, where I'm going with this thought, we were made in God's image, correct? In some scriptures, and I'm going to have to read the Bibles just so I can connect the dots to say, but self-revelation. Okay, sorry, lost train of thought. This is a new experiencing for me. But with God, us being God's, we were made in God's image. I believe as a spiritual being that I am everything. I've been everyone. I've been reincarnated over and over again. I'm energy. But I exist in the physical plane, so I need a body, and this is the body I've given. I would just tap into another mindset of thinking. So, and when you become a spiritualist, it's not a practice. It becomes a way of life. Like, I'm me. Like, I don't need to explain that. And for those who know me, you know I'm a cool guy. So, with that being said, that's all I see me as. It's just a cool person. A guy, if I had to get technical with people who I need to communicate with like that to understand me. But to people who can communicate like this, I'm a cool being. So, it getting into a lot of interesting thoughts right now, but the Holy Spirit's gift for receiving and applying God's self-revelation. The Holy Spirit being self and God being us, because we were created in His image. And also to state that most people who depict God, whether He be a pigmentation of darker or whiter pigmentation, those are pretty much the leaders of that time frame, whether it be before Christ or after Christ. The images that they've drawn, those who led at the time, who had the knowledge, depicted it as such. So, if I was to speak as in saying, we are all gods, we are the universe. We naturally, by birth, when we come into this plane, are connected with everything because we're open. That's why, an example, in martial arts movies, two people are fighting and a child walks in. Most cases, the two fighters don't fight because that child does not need to see violence. Because children don't know things that we know because we were taught it because of how our society showed us what they deemed to run their schedule. So, with that being said, we are naturally in tune with everything. We are naturally born with the gift of knowledge and wisdom. But because of the people who, for whatever reason, got in charge, took the knowledge and used it for their own ego benefit, because they got wrapped up into the moment and created money, which has no value. FYI. So, the positive aspect of being in touch with your natural emotions, how you feel for your reality, it makes you more aware of how you really feel. Like, let's say you meet someone. You're meeting me in real life. Let's say you meet me. Most people who meet me say, I naturally give off a good vibe. Your emotions will then tell you, you'll get a feeling. And then your hunch is usually right, because I am a pretty cool person for those who have met me. I'm not perfect, but I am pretty cool. So, with that being said, knowing how you really feel about a situation, a person, a job, a place, and you're honest with yourself, you can avoid a lot more negative situation and a lot more toxic people. Granted, though, you do need to experience things to learn about yourself. So sometimes you do have to go through a shitty job or meet toxic people to learn the lesson, because we're here for experience and to experience life. But because of how things are set up, you need money. Not for the need you think you need, but you need it for options. And when you do positive things for your life, you just naturally build up. Like, let's use math right now. 1 plus 1, 2. 2 plus 1, 3. 1 minus 1, 0. 1 minus 0, -1. Now let's say these numbers represent, 0 represents you, and the numbers represent your choices. If you keep making positive choices that align with who you really are and how you feel about something, because you want to do things with your life, you're going to keep building up positive things. Now, and let's keep it simple, let's not get too complicated with this and add in things, but just so you can understand where I'm coming from. If you keep doing negative things and asking yourself why does it keep happening, one second. I find that I'm saying this interesting because I started reading Einstein's Dreams, and it touched on the point, and I actually brought this up a while ago with a friend. I can't remember who I was talking with, but it was a while ago. We were discussing about, and let's use like relationships for an example. We were talking about when I ask people why they're with somebody and they say don't know, it's because they're addicted to that moment in time, that feeling they first got in that moment, and because they didn't want to let it go. And this can relate to other things like people or items, or like your glory days, let's say. When you get stuck in a moment, you're frozen in that time, while everyone else around you is going and still living life, moving forward, living in the moment, you're stuck in the past and you keep asking yourself, why is this happening? You're addicted to that lesson, that euphoria you're getting from that negative situation, and create a cycle and you can't see it. When you dive into the positive aspects and have balance with yourself with spirituality, not only will you be true to yourself, and you'll be open, and you'll learn to communicate better. You'll speak your mind to where people can't misunderstand you. You'll start to, let's say, manifest, take control of your life. Because right now, a lot of people, and I can actually say this now, we don't like the life we're living. Not all, but we do. Sorry, I heard somebody walking out. I didn't know if someone's coming to my room, but we don't like what the world is, and I will say that. I feel like that's a better way to put it. We don't like the state we're seeing. We all are starting to feel like we want more. It seems like every year it's getting harder and harder to afford things, no matter how much you plan, unless you've already had that natural, I guess you can say, ego, the physical plane, perspective naturally, that you can understand how to work it. You know what you want and you're going to do it. You do it. But for those who don't have, for whatever reason, don't see that, they're stuck up in their either, and this is where we have imbalance, you get wrapped up in your ego yourself, where you do no wrong, or wrapped up in your heart chakra, and you start to feel like you're the victim always. And I kind of touched in a little bit of the positive, negative, having both. You need to know the rules of the world you're living in. You do. You need to know how to do things in order to want to do better things. And this is where it comes to the word jack of all trades, and this is what I like to say that I am. So, when you're honest with yourself, you end up in a better situation. But you do need your ego, because sometimes a lot of people who aren't as aware will try to use you, because there are takers and givers. So, if you can have a balance of both your ego and your heart chakra, you'll have a balanced life to where you're happy. And when you have a solid foundation of where you're happy, you can venture out and do other things, because you know what you want. You know when to be selfish. You know when to say what's real, and you can get across clearly. And you get to a point where you don't feel like you need to explain yourself, which is why I felt it was better to record this than to do it live. Because I'm still at a point where I feel a bit of pressure when I see people watching. Because like I said, I'm still getting to this. I'm still diving deeper and deeper. But I'm learning, and I'm learning about how to be natural remedies, about how to read people better, so I can avoid from dealing with someone who's not going to help me to get somewhere better. I'm learning about all these things, and it's from different sources all over. And back to my notes that I took. The word spiritology, I didn't know that was a word. The root word, like I said earlier, self, meaning spirit. Spirit, the root word of spirit being self, or being, and ology, learning or the study of. And it is a mental and spiritual transformation. And it's when you have balance with that, when you accept your reality of what's presented in front of you in your current moment, but you're honest with yourself, you can handle everyday life so much better. And me going into this as an experience, but already being open-minded, because I'm an open-minded person, it's just mind-boggling from the Chris that, you've all seen me. I haven't changed much except for like my mindset and the fact that I don't go out as much because I just felt like I never think I'm better than anybody. I love all my friends I've met in Charleston. I love all my friends in Georgia and the people I've met and talked to from anywhere. But I got to a point to where I was like, I'm too smart to be in a rut. What am I doing wrong? Because it can't be everybody or the world just hates me. In a universe of infinite possibility, that's pretty selfish way of thinking that the world revolves, or to say the universe revolves around you. And so that's why I'm such an advocate with spirituality, and this is one thing with spirituality that I'm still working with, and I can personally admit because I'm comfortable with it, is that being grounded, because once you get into these mind-blowing like realizations about life, how things are what they are, how your life is what it was or will be, you sometimes get carried away with your thought process. And if you're not mindful and balanced, you come off crazy or weird or just arrogant. You get like how some millionaires, I'm just using an example, I have no idea, but let's just say this is like some people who have money think that they cannot be taken down. If you're flesh and bone, you can be taken down, and that's something everyone needs to realize in order to be humble. Because until we become humble, we can't get into ourselves, and we can't admit things to be better people. Because when it comes down to it and you start to think about it, if you want a better world, you do it for yourself. But before you can make a better world, you gotta have a solid ground with yourself. Have a solid ground with yourself. Have a solid living area, a loving area, a real area, and you're seeing where I'm going with this process. So, back to notes. And this is why I'm actually happy I took notes. See, I'm learning things. I've learned a lot, and it's fucking awesome. But, did I cover everything pretty much? Yeah, I pretty much did. It worked out. I honestly was, still seeing if I was going to do this or not, but I just saw some things that just stood out to me on my feed and in live, and I was like, I felt like it was right now, and I felt like this was good. So anyways, guys, I'm also going to do a quick moment talk. Like I said, this is my first official video for my YouTube, besides the few videos that I'm still trying to take from Facebook. But for those who are on YouTube and happen to come across this, if you're curious, my Facebook is my actual name, and it's Kristen Mikael Rosser. I don't care. But, yes, thank you again, guys, for watching. I love you all so much. Have a good night. Take care.